right, everybody, welcome back here. It is the Lake Show. My name is Sam Torres, and we are live here at Los Compadres, where we are going to talk about all things Dragon football. I'm jumping out ahead. I think I might have been a little bit preliminary on that one. Wanted to make sure we have had some issues over the past week with the communication from our streaming software to Facebook, but you know what? As I brought it out into the universe, it looks like everything is working just fine tonight. So we're going to keep it that way. We are live on Facebook, both 440 Sports Page NYSN, as well as the YouTube pages for both of them. And if you're ever having trouble finding the content in general, it's always available on your home for high school sports, ysnlive.com. So we get here. We are in week 7 already, believe it or not, folks. We are over halfway through the season, but what I'm most excited about is the fact that we have started conference play in this CVC Lake Division, which I call a rebranded NEC.
Close.
So, last week you guys get conference play started in a very tough way. A very tough way against a very good Madison team. It doesn't go the way you guys necessarily had planned it. Before we get into the negative, let's start it off like we always do. What are some of the things you liked in that game?
Nothing, man. We just flat out got our butts kicked. I can't. There's no silver lining in that game. The positives are that we went right back into the lab right away.
Okay.
So in that game, we found, but I can say some positives. I won't sugarcoat it or act like there wasn't anything.
Listen, I get it. As a head coach, it's getting tired. You're getting tired of finding positives in a negative situation. So, but I get it. But there's got to be something that you like, something that you can't frown the whole game.
Yeah, I would say we found a free safety.
Okay.
He played a great game. Our linebacker play is getting better. There's not a lot of plays that you can point out where the linebacker play was a mistake. There's just times where a 6'3" quarterback just threw over us. We just got to get better at that.
I think that was one of the things we had talked about last week, and I don't know if I'm gonna call it a broadcaster's curse or the fact that I was flat out wrong. When I think of the Madison Blue Streaks and Madison Blue Streak football, I really thought it was going to be more kind of bash your head in, keep it in between the tackles as they proceeded to light up the skies like a 4th of July. I mean, that quarterback he's a good football player. That's all that can be said.
Yes, he is. He played great football. The team followed him. You could tell he was the leader of that football team. They're very well coached. Their defensive line was amazing. Their offensive line held their own. The receivers caught the ball. That's huge.
Listen, that makes a difference.
Because on the other side, our receivers didn't catch the ball. We had a lot of opportunities to do that. We just failed. I failed as a play caller. I know I did. But we had some circumstances that led to that. Again, I don't hold any excuses. I don't make any excuses.
I want to dip a little bit into there, and I don't press many coaches about anything, but me and you got a special relationship as I've known you for more than half my life. So I'm going to ask you some of these tough questions. When you're a head coach and you've got these expectations, on some of these players, and you said yourself, you're not blaming the players, you're taking the blame on this one. What makes it? How do you get through those plays where maybe that they can make this play, that they should make this play? How does it change your play calling at all? Does it change your approach to the game?
Yeah. I guess it's on both ends. It's a yin and a yang, because part of it is I know we can do that. Like, we had a wheel route that we just missed. That was just a perfect pass. We just missed the ball. I know he can do that. But the other side of that coin is that their defensive line was amazing. Right? So, again, I want to give my running backs the ball. But if their D-line is in our backfield before our quarterback gets the ball, then what do I do in that situation? We try to quick pass it. First drive of the second half, we quick pass all the way down the field. We scored in 9 plays. Um, but then the next drive, we couldn't click.
Okay.
But what we're trying to do is find the weaknesses of the defense. At that point in time, they were bracketing us so we couldn't get outside. And then a defensive lineman that wasn't on film all week showed up, and he played lights out football. So when he realized we were running, we were figuring out what he was doing. He moved on the defensive line. He went to the middle of the defensive line, and where the coaches put him in the middle of the defensive line, and he just wreaked havoc from that point forward. But double team, whatever, it didn't matter. So when you're facing that, yeah, okay, it's easy to say, well, we just do this, just do that. But I'm also coaching 15 and 16-year-olds.
People tend to forget that. I think that's one of the biggest thing, Coach, is, it's everybody is an armchair quarterback. Everybody watches, the Ohio State Buckeyes on Saturday. Everybody watches the Browns, or unfortunate ones who watch the Broncos on Sundays. But, I think the expectations that people have, they forget sometimes that these kids are doing biology tests for 8 hours during the regular day. And these are just kids who are learning to be themselves. But, one of the things I've always wondered as, I consider myself a bit of a student of the game. I love the game of football. And from the head coach, what does halftime look like? What does that halftime speech look like? Me and my old partner, Ryan Cole, we used to talk about, this is what the head coach is going to say. And I think we got a unique look here where we can ask. You don't have to give us, the 11 herbs and spices. But what does halftime look like, when you're winning? What does halftime look like when you have a game like Friday?
Fridays, just because it's still in my mind. Like, you let them know that we're at our line in the sand. Like, what are you going to do? We have the questions. We already know what the questions are. We just have to answer them. And what is it going to take? Like, it can't come from the coaches, guys.
Yeah.
It's not. It can never come from us. It has to come from you guys. You have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I had a great coach in high school and a wide array of them, and Sean Allgood. But I look back to Jay Corlew, who was my head coach, one of the greatest Lakeside coaches of all time. Who in a certain game, during halftime, where he looked at us players and he said, "I can't play the down for you."
100%. And I wish Jay was in the locker room with me. But that's basically what you're trying to get to. Like, hey, like I said on the show before, like, players have to be players. Like, okay, I can draw a play, and every play that I have has an arrow at the end of it. That means they're going to the end zone. So, but the kids have to believe in the arrow. And when you're talking to great running backs, you have to tell them, guys, like, sometimes no one's going to block. Then what? And we were at the then what? And you're trying to, okay, how do we slow down this rush? Hit quick passes. It's not slowing down the rush. How do we run with them rushing in and bracketing? We got to hit the inside tackle right now. We got to go inside zone right now. Those are the things that you're going through as a coach.
Now, does that ever stop during the game? Or, do you is it kind of a constant evolution based on, a lot of coaches say, I'm always going to take what they give and I'm going to try and take more than they give.
You have to find out what they're giving.
Yeah.
And again, you're on two different spectrums. There's sometimes when everything is working for you, and your playbook almost. How
those are the fun days.
Yeah, how Jordan and LeBron, all those guys say the basket was this big. Like sometimes your play card is just 7, 8 plays that stick off to it's like call me coach, and it works. But there's other times where it looks like you need a magnifying glass because you just can't find the right play, and you can't think in your head, and they're matching you, and we all have tendencies, and I don't think that I do. And I guarantee you, that coach
there's
doesn't
no
think they
coach. There's no coach out there that thinks they have tendencies. With you know what, with the exception of a couple I've met. One that always comes to mind is Neil Croston, NPV. He says, I'm the easiest coach to scout in America.
Yeah, seventh grade, right? Great play.
Like, we're gonna do this. If you do it better, then you're gonna win the ball game. But he's always betting they're gonna do it better.
And he does. He does. So you're going into it just hoping, like not really hoping. You have a plan, you have a game plan, and you're just asking your guys to stick with this plan. And sometimes how can I say, that blank look that you get, it's a scary look. And like when you're in charge, like you're really in charge, and you're looking back and they're giving you a blank stare. That's when it's hard for a coach.
I think it was Mike Tyson that said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Punched in the mouth. And we got punched in the mouth. But it was humbling. We needed that. You never won it.
Yeah.
But we needed some humbling, because, hey guys, like, there's some things that went on during the week that can't happen if you want to be a winning program. There's things that happen on game day that can't happen if you want to be a winning program. There's days of practice that we left things on the field that we can't get that practice back. That if you want to be a winning program, you can't do. So
now, do you think any part of it has to do with kind of where we're at in the season? Because this is always another interesting point for me to think about is, football is a long season. It's only 10 games. I understand that. And it's one day a week. But as the season progresses, things happen and we get to the halfway point of the season. Did that play a part or
like I really can't, I don't want to dive into all their situations, but I think it was just they got comfortable.
Okay.
And they didn't think that that rules mattered, or that coach is serious.
Yeah.
But going into the game, as a coach, you always say next man up. Next man up. You believe it. But if your next man up didn't get a lot of practice, he got a lot of practice this week, but there wasn't anything in the kitchen.
Well, we've been talking about it all year. Experience and the growth that is, that has been happening and that honestly is required for a program in this situation. There's not too many 4-year starters coming back this year. There's not too many 30-plus varsity game guys on the team. So everybody's kind of learning as we go. But, let's go into something a little bit more on the up and the optimistic. Let's talk a little bit about some of the growth and maybe some of the growth you've seen either last week or this week, trying to recover.
I don't think you have to, we're at that part of the season now. Like, Madison is Madison. Yeah, they're in our division, but I think we're at the point of the season now that I don't think you have to get the kids ready.
Yeah.
Like they want to play these guys, and they're calling them. Like, it's a good thing when your team is calling them by their names.
Yeah.
Then that there's something that goes into that. So this week, it's not about the rah-rah or that or the intensity. It's this week is just about being technical and being disciplined. And we're there. Like, hey, I don't care how much energy. I want you at 100% energy, but you have to be disciplined and put 100% energy. So that's what we've been dealing with this week. Like, be disciplined and be consistent.
Yeah, and let's dive a little bit into that. We're going to bring up this week's. We'll talk about the leaders here in just a minute, but let's go right into this week's game preview. You guys have a familiar opponent.
Yeah, 100%.
On a whole bunch of different levels in this Jefferson Falcons team. They come into this one 2-4. They're riding high. They've got 2 back-to-back wins, one over Orange, and that win in particular begins to look better and better every week. And then a big win over Conneaut. You talk about the leaders over on that side. You've got a quarterback in Burlingham who's thrown for almost 1,200 yards. You've got Webster who's holding down the rushing yards, and then Bozar who's got 600 yards. He's about 300 yards ahead of everybody out here. You guys really, outside of the passing yards, aren't very far off there. With Ambris, 8 touchdowns. He's throwing the ball. He's getting better every week. J. Anthony Williams leading both categories with 358 rushing yards and 239 receiving yards and 4 combined totals. I don't think that surprises anybody either.
Yeah, we just didn't last game. I want to throw it away, man. But our our guys are learning every day. Like again, this is our install. I know I coached these guys when they were younger, but this is a different ball game now, and I think we're starting to live the plays now. These guys are starting to understand what now they can put their personalities into the plays. I think we spent 5 weeks of them being robots.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to now the personality is starting to come around. And it's showing in team in practice, and it's showing in 7-on-7 in practice that there's personality with it. Like okay, like Omar now can see that so and so runs this route differently than so and so because there's a personality in it.
Yeah.
So that's a heck of a thing. But facing these guys this week, I can't wait for it. These kids know each other. Coaches know each other. I have nothing but respect for Brandon Hand, one of the best coaches in Ohio. Obviously, there's nobody around here that has that trophy in their living room. So you can't be. You can have a great team and be a bad coach, and you're not going to get to where they got to. You can have a great team and a good coach, you're not going to get to where they got to. So obviously, you had to be a great coach and a great team to get to where they were. I give them all the respect in the world. I know he's gonna come with it. I like to talk trash. He likes to talk trash.
I'll tell you what. If nothing else, listen, it's gonna be entertaining. I've watched you. You guys probably have played more 7-on-7s against each other than anybody out here. It's always fun. I love that part of the game. It's a give and take on both sides, but once you leave the field, it's back to respecting each other as men, and I think that's so important. But let's talk a little bit about Lakeside, and let's talk about what you and your team. What do you guys have to do to get this season going and get your conference play in the right way?
Win the football. It's not the football game, but win the football. The ball is however long, 11 and a half inches long. We got to get on the other side of it all the time. We win the football, we start winning football games. I can't explain it any simpler way than that. Like, hey, there's a lot of times that we're not winning this football. Okay, so there's guys on the other side of this football before we're on the other side of this football, offensively or defensively, and play the ball. Stop playing like. Again, we talk about hesitation steps at practice all the time, and like, hey, man, like, eventually you just have to play this game. Just go out here and play this game, and we're starting to see that now. So, in order for us to get off this schneid, I truly feel like it's just winning the football. Who gets past it the first? On defense, we got to get in their backfield. On offense, we got to get in their backfield. I think we have the athletes to do it. I think we just have to put our guys in advantageous positions. Our kids are hungry now. I can't say they weren't hungry before, but you can just see a difference. And then I don't know what it is.
Well, I always say it's the guys you share a Walmart with. Madison's got their own Walmart, so they don't share that one.
Right,
but you guys are definitely going to be walking the same aisles as this Jefferson Falcons team, and you guys are going to be heading over, to a Jefferson Falcon, to the Jefferson Falcons, as you guys will be playing there this week. And while they, again, they do have 2 wins, they're still looking for that home win, and that's a big, you're looking at a team that's very, very hungry. I get the honor and the privilege of calling this one this week. I'm going to be on the call with Scott Demos. I'm so excited about this one. For those of you who are watching at home that are old enough to remember, I've been trying to explain this to the kids on both sides. This used to be the rivalry in the county. When Lakeside was first put together, anytime Jefferson and Lakeside were on the field, it was fireworks.
Yes,
and we've got great coaches going against each other. We got 2 great teams. It's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch this one. Let's talk a little bit about the leaders coming into this week. Your Dragon leaders coming into this week. Omar Ambris leading the pack on the passing side with 642 yards. He's got 8 touchdowns. J. Anthony Williams leading both receiving and rushing with 358 and 239, 4 touchdowns there. Tyree Anderson takes the lone spot as the tackle leader this week. 45 and a half tackles, which puts him at 4th in the county. Talk a little bit about Big Six.
Big Six can play all over the field. And that's what we like about him. Like, again, we're going after the smart guys. Hey, you got a GPA, we're gonna put you in different places. And he's learning the game. because again, um, Tyree wants to play at the next level. So it's not my job to pigeonhole you into any position. So he's playing DN, he's playing D tackle, he's playing outside linebacker, playing inside linebacker. He's a kind of kid that we game plan for. Hey, where can we best suit you?
I mean, that's got to feel like an advantage as a coach, right?
Yeah.
When you've got a kid that isn't necessarily the utility knife, but you can kind of plug him in. You talk about Tyree Anderson, you talk about Artman doing the same thing where you've got guys that you can move back and forth, and they're going to be effective.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job at it. Like again, Tyree is when his hand is on the ground, he's a tackling machine. When his hand is off, when he's standing up, he's a sack machine. So it's what we're looking for that week. Where are they trying to get to? Tyree, you're going to be the first guy to get there. He's a great kid. He's you know what I love about Tyree though is the moment he sees me, he said, "Coach, are you having a good day today?" Like at first, I used to think it was ingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
But now I realize that's very, very genuine from him. Like he's really, really looking at like asking about my day. And then we go into, and then he'll jab me and tell me something stupid about myself. But the fact, I'm glad that he's how can I say he's calm enough in life that he can really, really ask somebody else about their day. Like most teenagers, their mind.
They got so much going on; it's hard to care about anything else. And I mean, that does. I think that speaks to the player. He's also your tackle for loss leader, as you just said. Whether his hand's in the dirt or it's up in the air, he's going to make a difference. And then your interception leader remains. This one might be the most surprising stat of the year. Nate Bartone. Nate Bartone still holding on to the interception count for this Dragons team. And
we're not mad at Nate. We're mad at everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, Nate, listen, that's not a dig at you because you get it done, my fella. But I think that's one of the bigger surprises. The first person we're going to bring on tonight is going to be your scout team player of the week, Anthony Benedict. Let's, tell me a little bit about Anthony. This is a guy who starting JV quarterback, if I'm correct. So,
Anthony is a baller, man. Like he's like a quote unquote gym rat. if there's a definition of a football gym rat, Anthony's that kid. Like his mom wastes about a quarter tank of gas running, just sitting there. Like literally, I'm the second to the last person to leave the building every day, and Anthony's the last person. Like there's times when I want to close this door, but I have to wait for Anthony to get off the field. Like he's that kid. Like he wants to grow. He loves the game. He loves to be taught. Like and he's competitive. He has a competitive edge. Like he gets mad. And I like that. Like he's able to lead the JV kids with his voice, which is a good thing. And he wants to go at them. Like when he's a scout team player, like he wants to succeed, and he's mad when he doesn't.
Now, is he a sophomore?
Yeah, he's a sophomore. He was an offensive lineman last year.
That was going to be my next question. So he's moving over from the guy blocking to the guy orchestrating.
And he wants to get better. He looks for quarterback coaching. He went to North Carolina to be a quarterback. Like the kid he's invested. His parents are invested in what he wants to be. And the sky's the limit for the kid. He just wants to be good. So those are the easy ones to coach. Yeah. He's a great student. He's a great kid, and he wants to be coached, and he wants to be good. So a kid like that, he might be nervous telling you now, but by the middle of his interview, you see the confidence in him. You see that why we see what we see in him. He's a great kid. Great kid.
So Anthony going to be the scout team player of the week, and your Dragon player of the week is a young man by the name of Czar Triplin. And Czar has the benefit and the curse of he doesn't ever get a day off from coach.
No. That's my stepson. He's not going anywhere. But I try my best not to be a coach at home. I try my best. Like we try to have civil conversations. Like, hey man, I'm gonna yell at you at practice, but I'm at home, man. Like I'm gonna tell you how you did it. I'm gonna tell you what you can do to fix it. And we go from there. But he's always being coached, I tell you that. There's no conversations that I'm pushing on him. It's a lot of time where he'll knock on my bedroom door and say, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And as coaches, we check the time on how long he's been watching film, and he's always at the top of the list. So He better be.
Yeah, he does not get a free pass whatsoever.
I think he found his niche. I think he found out what he's exceptional at.
And that's where I was going to go next. I think what were some of the things that Czar did that actually put him into this position to be Dragon Player of the Week?
Well, he led the team in receptions that game, and he was second on the team in tackles. And putting him where he is on defense now has been advantageous for him. He's a different kid. He moves at a different speed, and because he's moving at a different speed on defense, he's starting to move at a different speed on offense. He catches better on defense.
So you're saying Bartone may not stay in that spot?
Yeah. So he's doing a heck of a job back there, and he's growing every day. He wants to be a 7%er. And I talk to him like that. Hey, if you want, I don't say 7%er. I say $250,000 athlete. So are you? And I ask him that question all the time. Were you worth $250,000 a day? All right. There's no question. We don't have to have another conversation. So now we can live together, and we don't have to beat each other up. You don't have to be mad at me because we left it at the locker room.
Yeah.
But at home, that's the only question that I'll ever ask him. Were you a $250,000 player today? And if the answer is no, you at tomorrow. If the answer is yes, I'm gonna either agree or disagree. But having that in the household, if you're that guy, then you're going to college. If you're not, you're not.
That's exactly it. It's like we said at the beginning. You can't play the downs for him.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So we're going to go to our first break, and when we come back, we're going to bring our Dragon Scout Player of the Week in Anthony Benedict, the sophomore quarterback, and we will be right back here on The Lake Show live from Los Compadres.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa, and I'm YN proud.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats, because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
All right, everybody, we are back here live at Los Compadres. It's the Lake Show. My name is Sam Torres, and this is your home for high school sports, ysnlive.com. I'm here today with our Dragon Scout Player of the Week. Now, this is an award that is voted on by the players. They discuss with the coaches, hey, who kicked our butt the most this week? And the guy who won that award this week is Anthony Benedict. Now, Anthony, just a sophomore in the starting quarterback for the JV team. What's it like getting out there? And you've got a pretty interesting story, I think, in how you got to quarterback. And that last year you were a guard. So you get transformed into a quarterback. Tell me a little bit about this journey and this transformation.
Well, it was just like one day I think it was like a track meet.
Okay.
I was throwing with a couple of football buddies, and Coach Terry was like, "Hey, come here a second." We were doing some quarterback drills, and then from there on, boom.
So from that track time, you get out there and he finds his JV quarterback, which getting ready to take over the reins. You got a senior in there right now, so it could be coming sooner than you think. Talk a little bit about some of the stuff you're doing in the off season. One of the things Coach Terry talked about was how you're spending so much time at the field, and you're a football gym rat, is what he called you. Going to these quarterback camps and stuff like that. What's going on behind that and taking it so seriously?
Just trying to prove myself every day, get better. I want to start eventually one day.
Okay.
But all this is new to me because it's only my second year playing.
Okay. That's an interesting point too.
Yeah.
So no youth league football, you're a high school, you're a genuine high school football player.
Yeah.
So, this week you're playing on both the offensive and the defensive side. On the scout side, you're playing quarterback, and on the defensive side, you said you're playing some outside linebacker. What was going on with that?
Just catching interceptions. Pretty much.
And obviously trying to get your craft better. Why do you go so hard on this scout team? Sometimes it's a little bit hard for guys to get pumped up and play on, scout team or JV, but you seem to be a guy that every football rep counts.
Yeah, I just try to be better than I was yesterday.
That's great.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, that's big. If you try to be better than you were yesterday, I don't think it's a lofty goal. It's something you can always build on, and before you know it, you've turned yourself into a player. Playing on the offensive side, playing on the defensive side. Which one do you like more?
Gotta go offense.
Gotta go offense. Listen, that's true quarterback talk right there. I've never met a quarterback in my life that when I ask them where they want to play, they'd say on defense. What calls to you about being a quarterback? What about that makes you, brings Anthony Benedict to the table?
I like running and I like throwing.
So, you like running, you like throwing. Which one of those two skill sets, which one do you think is your better?
I could definitely improve my throwing, but I got to save my legs.
Yeah, you can run a little bit.
When nobody's open, I just take off.
Well, you talked about how much you did not like running distance.
Yeah.
You were a distance guy when you were running on the track, but, do you think that kind of helped you when it comes to football, your conditioning, that sort of thing? Do you feel like you have maybe an extra gear?
Yeah, a little bit, like my stamina.
Mm-hmm.
Like running long distance. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it matters. It matters, especially in those games. When you're the quarterback, every play, you don't get a play off. The ball's going into your hands unless, Coach Terry calls a halfback direct or something every once in a while. I don't know what's going on. We won't go into the sauce, right? So, he talks about your success and how hard you work in the classroom. What's your favorite subject?
History, definitely.
History. Listen, I like this kid. That's a great one right there. Every once in a while, people tell me math, and I don't know what to tell them. But history. Why do you get it done in the classroom? What part of that? How did that come to be? Where Anthony understood this is where I'm gonna really make my worth.
I used to hate school.
Uh-huh.
But now that I'm an athlete, it's like he's put the bar so high at 3.0. I'm like, I gotta get higher than that.
Listen, that's fantastic. You gotta love it. One of the things Coach Terry talked about at the beginning of the season was creating academic athletes, and it's probably music to his ears right now hearing, well, Coach said we got to be here, so I got to beat that. You know what I mean? And 3.0, that does not come easy. What are some things that you're going to be looking to improve on, through the rest of this season and through, maybe even into next year?
Definitely getting bigger.
Okay.
And getting faster.
How much time do you spend as a JV guy watching film and watching other quarterbacks?
I try to at least get in like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Hey, that's solid.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of what you're doing out there on the field, going home and getting 30 additional minutes, are there any quarterbacks out there that stick out to you?
Baker Mayfield. I just like his energy.
Baker Mayfield. As a Browns fan, that absolutely breaks my heart. But, man, that's a great guy to talk about, energy, ability. And it's a guy who had to try. You know what I mean? I think that's a great guy to kind of look after. What are some of the things that you enjoy most and pumped you up most about being a Lakeside Dragon?
Just I've been a Dragon my whole life, so it's like normal to me.
Yeah.
So this is all just like I was born in this.
You were born to do this. Listen, that's a great answer. You were born. If you were born a dragon, you're going to graduate a dragon. You'll continue to be a dragon. I'm an 05 dragon, so you're in good company. So I'll tell you what. I wanted to tell you, congratulations for getting that scout team player. This is an award that isn't just given to you. You have to go out there and earn it, and you absolutely did this week. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where your football journey continues. And keep working hard, because before you know it, I might have to come up with a nickname for you on a Friday night. Ladies and gentlemen, our Dragon Scout Team Player of the Week, Anthony Benedict.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Sheely's is more than a furniture store. We're a hub for all of your appliance needs. We offer the widest selection at everyday low prices, with over $1 million of in-stock inventory from Whirlpool, KitchenAid, LG, GE, and more. Our knowledgeable, no-pressure sales staff can help you find the perfect appliances for your home. We're there for you beyond your purchase to service what we sell and offer free local delivery with 24-month special financing. Sheely's, the best things in life happen at home.
House troubles can attack anytime. When trouble strikes, call Mighty Mike. Your hometown hero is on his way. HVAC causing havoc? Has your furnace gone mad? Mighty Mike Heating and Cooling will save the day. Commercial or residential, 24/7. For quality service you can depend on. Call your hometown hero. Call Mighty Mike.
All right, everybody, we are back here with our Dragon Player of the Week, and it's Czar Triplin, a junior here at Lakeside. You go out there this week, not only leading the team in receptions, you also lead the team in or you're second on the in the team on tackles. Now you've played. Put that up just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That's better. They want to hear you, not me. Trust me. But you go out there, you're playing both sides of the ball. You're making a difference on both sides of the ball. Now, obviously, the game doesn't go the way you guys wanted it to go. It's a tough one, but that's part of football. Nobody has won every one that they've played. That's for sure. But, you really made a difference out there. Let's talk a little bit about Friday and what was going through Czar Triplin's head.
I just knew going into it that, well, we missed a lot of practices this week, but Wednesday I was out there at safety, and I wanted to make a difference there. So I was just really hoping – I was hoping he didn't mess up, but at the same time I wanted my chance to go make my mark. So I got in at safety, and I just wanted to hit people. Like I told him the night before, I was like, I just want to play defense tomorrow and hit somebody.
Yeah. So, you made that position change. You're starting off at corner, and you move over into that free safety. What are some of the things that maybe were different? What were some of the things you had to get used to moving from the outside to the center fielder?
You get to see so much more going on. Like the guards the receivers, you get to see the whole field. It's so much easier to read, and you get to react to the ball.
Now, does it? I gotta ask you, man. Does it feel any more stressful because at least at corner, if you get burned, that safety's there. When you're safety, you're the last of the Mohicans.
I just know I got to cover the whole field. Like, I just got to be able to get to the outside receiver and make it there.
Yeah. Now, did you get any time at receiver coming up to at free safety coming up to this? Have you any other time in your career have you played safety, or have you been strictly a corner?
I've been a corner forever, but when we went to Georgia, I actually got my first chance at safety.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Georgia. In the off season, you've done a lot of traveling, playing in 7-on-7s all over the place, and you go into Georgia with this Elite 11 and some of the best athletes that the United States has to offer. What was that experience like for you?
It just lets us know how close we were to it. Like, they're not that much better than us. It's just what they have that we don't.
Anybody out there that made you starstruck or gave you one of these?
I mean, yeah, it was a lot. I just wasn't prepared for it. They were crazy out there. It was like something I've never seen.
Yeah, listen, it's one thing when you're lining up against a 6-foot guy that you've seen walking around Ashtabula, and then when Julio Jones pulls out of Louisiana or wherever he's from, at that point, what goes through your mind when you're going against guys with super talent, whether it's extreme reach or it's very, crazy speed, jumps, that sort of thing? Is there fear there, or are you just ready to go?
I was like, I just wanted to play. Like, I knew if I could stop that, then I could stop anything out here.
That's a great way to look at it. You know what I mean? You can't get better if you're not seeing better competition, and I think that really plays a huge part. Outside of the 7-on-7s, what are some of the things you do in the off season?
We were just at a lot of camps, staying after practice, make sure I was getting in throws with Omar.
What any other sports, whether it's track, basketball, wrestling, whatever?
Yeah, we ran track, but I didn't like it.
So you ran track, you didn't really care for it. What were you running? You weren't running hurdles, were you?
No, it was just wherever. I ran the 400 once. I'll never do that again.
Listen, the 400, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I will stand by this for the rest of my life. It's the hardest race in track. People will fight me and they'll tell me the 800 is harder, or the 1600. I ran a 400 one time. My cardiologist is still trying to get me right from running it, and I was only 18 when I did it. It's difficult, but there's some things that you learn and that you gain from track that I think can cross over into football. What from that track season kind of helped you as you were getting ready for football?
Just knowing I got to finish the play, finish the catch. Knowing when we were running, I just had to finish the race, but I want to finish everything in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking in track, a hundredth of a second is the difference between winning and losing. And, I think that's lost on some of these football players. That hundredth of the second is the difference sometimes between batting a ball down or getting one of these. So, it's a difficult position playing safety, but, you've also jumped over onto the wide receiver side, and you're making a difference out there. You guys have a pretty talented group of skilled guys that you're playing with. Matt Wagner is one of the guys that jumps off the paper. We know about the 3-headed Hydra in the backfield, and Bartone and Miller and Williams. Talk a little bit about your relationship with those guys as well as Omar.
I just know whoever's getting the ball, we got an athlete that can make a play. So if they get the ball, we got to block.
Block. That's a foreign concept to some of these wide receivers. They want to catch the ball, and if it's not coming to them, the blocking is not always the greatest. But that's something you take pride in.
Yeah, I love blocking. I want to go until the whistle goes. Like, if I find somebody that I can push over, you're going to go on the ground. I love it.
The wide receiver who counts pancakes. Good luck finding another one of those.
I love it. In practice, I do it all the time too. Like, if I see you and you're not doing nothing and we run in the play still, don't stop.
You come into this junior year. Freshman year, I always say guys are trying to, find their place on the team. Sophomore year, you're getting established. Junior year is really where it kind of transforms into you are who you are, and you've got to earn that spot and take over that spot, whether it's from a leadership or an athletic position. What were some of the things coming into this junior year that you knew you had to get together?
I knew I had to be strong, I had to be fast, and I had to play smart.
Now, what about with the younger guys? Is there anything you're seeing with the younger guys, or anything that you try to make sure you're teaching the younger guys?
They're getting hands. They're able to catch. We throw the ball out in practice. They're able to finish the play and make the catch.
That's big. I'll tell you what, man. people talk about quarterback play. They talk about, Coach Terry can call 87 passes, but if nobody wants to catch the ball, it's a quick game.
Yeah. They're not scared of the traffic anymore either. Like in the beginning of the season, they were all tense and didn't want to get hit, but now you can lay the biggest hit in practice on them, and they still gonna come out with the ball.
That's really, really big. You love to see it. You guys are in conference play. The next couple games are going to be guys that you're a transfer, so you've got some, other guys that you've played with in the past and stuff like that without putting a target on you now. So mind your words here. But, what are some of the games you're looking forward to the most?
I just want to play I've been thinking about that game since we played in the 7-on-7 season.
Listen, folks, one of these, I'm going to get a spoon just to let you know. I'm stirring the pot at this point in the show. You love to see it. It's one of the things I think that makes high school great. What are some of the things that, you have planned for the rest of this year? And what are some of the things that, that Czar Triplin has to do to help these Lakeside Dragons win football games?
I want to make tackles, finish plays. I know I want to get on that interception board.
Listen, Nate Bartone has been holding that thing down for 3 weeks strong.
Yeah.
He gets another one. I don't know if anybody's catching that.
I'll get two.
Outstanding. I'll tell you what, great job on the field. Good luck this week. I get like I told you guys earlier, I get the privilege and the honor of calling this one. It's a big one. I've been telling players on both sides, don't go out there like Big Daddy Kane says, don't be half-stepping. It's going to be a big one. This is a big time game right here in a big time conference. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Thanks so much for joining me on the show. This week's Dragon Player of the Week is Czar Triplin. Good job, my friend. Tell you what, folks, that's going to do it here for our show, The Lake Show, live from Los Compadres. We will be back next Wednesday, just like every other week, talking about everything Dragons football. I'm really excited about this week's game. This is one of those games where I don't think people understand how much the community is going to be involved. I thoroughly believe it is going to be an absolute packed house. Jefferson has an amazing football field, one of the best I've ever seen. The Dragons are going to go out there and try and trample on the opposing team's field, but Jefferson is not going to be taking that lightly. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll be on the call, joined by Scott Demos. It's going to be a phenomenal game. If you can't make it there, tune in to ysnlive.com. I want to encourage you, though, to make it to the game because it's going to be great, along with all the other ones right here on ysnlive.com. My name is Sam Torres, and as always, folks, this is for the 440.